When it comes to Canadian food, we've got you back with flavors like lemon pepper, beer batter, campfire barbecue, lemon pepper dill, garlic butter and chives, and crispy Cajun. We've got a mix for every meal. Whether you're serving East Coast shrimp, West Coast salmon, succulent walleye, chicken wings, or veggies, we've got you covered. Coat your food in outdoor flavors. Available online or at these fine retailers.
Well, cheers to you, Mike. Cheers to everyone who has joined us. There's quite a lot of you. Holy smokes. I really appreciate this. I guess the Habs winning last night and no hockey has brought quite a few of you to CFN tonight. We really appreciate you guys tuning in because we have lots to cover as this is part one of the wrap-up show. I'm Scottie Martin, and of course, this is my right-hand man, Mike Console.
Yeah, and the reason why this is part one is because we need some final verifications. We need, the community to check and double check everything. So we're not ready to do the week 4 draw or announce our final winners and placement of our top 10 and top 25. We want to do our due diligence and make sure that everything is accurate, and we need your help to do that. But we do have some prizes to give away today. And we have lots of things to talk about because, wow, Scottie, that was an awesome, awesome tournament. Down to the wire. I know I was looking at the scoreboard on Sunday night, and in my head I was like, I don't know what's going to happen.
No, Mike, and at the end of the day, the effort put forth from our participants was at least our best attempts to try and shadow that from our end. There's certain things that we will discuss that we need to get better at, but I'll tell you, there was not from a lack of effort, and that was both from our contestants as well as the team behind the scenes. This was an all-out effort. You guys didn't just get behind this; you pushed with both hands, and I dare say the tally right now is probably got to be up close to 1,500 submissions, which is definitely a new CFN record. I don't want to say world record, but a CFN record for sure.
Yeah, when I said I looked at the scoreboard, if you look at the top 10, if you were to take a screenshot of the top 10 Sunday night and you look at the top 10 now, the amount of places people jumped, crazy. And then when you're saying world record entries, you know what? We can't say that because we can't confirm it, but I can't think of any other tournament that has over 1,000 different fish entered. So, it might be a bold statement, but it might be an accurate statement.
It might be. I wouldn't want to, hashtag that and end up putting my foot in my mouth because my feet stink. But I'll tell you this, some of the who's who of our fish off are here with us right now. Big accolades, Brandon. I couldn't agree more, my friend. Bouncy Bottoms put on one heck of a show. To you ladies, kudos to both of you. That is not easy when you are juggling family, work, and everything else. But, of course, all of our CFNers did it. So we don't want to take away from anybody's efforts, no matter how many fish you submitted. It was a true collective. And I was just proud, man. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so damn proud.
Yeah. One of the decisions we made this year was we're always going to keep the start date as May long weekend, which gives people, 11 and a bit months to plan, because it was always a fluctuating date. But now we know May long weekend, that is the start of the CFN fish off, and it'll be, cross our fingers, 4 weeks long every year. And so people can say, hey, I'm going to take vacation time during this time, or I'm going to plan a trip on this time, or I'm going to book this lodge at this time. And I know people have done that in the past and coordinate their free time with the fish off time, because it's like feeding 2 birds with 1 seed, having fun, spending quality time with your family, and catching new species at the same time.
Which is what we saw. I'll tell you, it was on full display. This entire month, the 4 weeks of fishing plus is again, you guys Yes, I think it was Sarah that said our judges probably didn't sleep much. They haven't slept much in the last 48 hours, I can assure you. And this guy right here is sick because of it all. He's saying it's allergies. Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's a lack of sleep.
Exhaustion?
Yeah, sheer exhaustion. So as I said, it's a combined effort. Everybody gets behind it in ways that complement the entire tournament and complement CFN. But I'll tell you, you participants you guys put on one heck of a show, man. Holy smokes! All right, yeah. Mike.
Every year the bar. I was gonna say every year the bar just keeps rising and rising and rising. And every year we've made changes because of your feedback. So thank you for your feedback. I know after the first year, we never had our weekly Shimano draws after the first year. And, Brad just killed it the first year. And after and it was a 6-week tournament that time. So one of the changes we made was let's change it to 4 weeks, because asking people to devote 6 weeks is a long, long time. So we changed it to 4 weeks. And then we added our Shimano draws after that first year, because, if there's a couple teams that are just running away with it, there's that, I'll never catch up. But that's why we added our Shimano draws, so that even if there's no way you can catch up just because you don't have the time or the access or whatever, there's still reason to continue to try to catch as many species as possible. So we've made changes every single year because of your feedback. So thank you for that. And again, we'll send out a survey, provide us your feedback, and we'll see if any changes will need to be made to make it even better next year.
I know we will definitely be making one, but we will get to that soon. Mike, we've already pretty much started to touch on it, but CFN Fish Off 2021, review number 1, tournament takeaways. You go first.
I'm going to share my screen, actually, Scotty.
Okay. All right.
There's a bunch of stuff. Like I gotta catch up on a whole bunch of posts, and my computer is freezing right now. But people have been posting what their thoughts are and thanking the judges and thanking the community and thanking, everyone involved. And so I'm just reading some of these posts now, and it's got to make you smile. People are saying, caught species I've never caught before, or quality time with my son, or wait until next year. Our goal was 20 species. Next year we're coming with 30. Like, this is fun stuff, and we're so happy that you had fun participating.
Holy smokes, Mike, we just topped 50 people watching. So thanks very much, folks, for all you tuning in. It's a beautiful day out, especially if you're here in Ontario. I can't imagine what it's like across the country. But we appreciate you taking the time, because we do have a lot to go over. As I said, review number 1 is simply about the tournament takeaways, and there is lots to take away from this tournament. There's no doubt about it. Go ahead, Mike.
So here's Michaela here saying, the 613 River Reapers, they believe they're going to be in the top 10. They almost caught 20 species, and they're going for 30 next year. They're talking about their fun trips, and they can't wait for the Summer Slam and the Fall Brawl. So, that just makes you smile. Here we got Mark Elbeck talking about how this was an awesome event, allowed him to challenge himself and catch things that he's never caught before. And this is a guy who's caught a lot of fish, and now he's catching PBs and species he's never caught before. And wonderful people challenging your limits as an angler. Be proud of what you accomplished. So thank you, Mark Elbeck. And I highlighted another one here, Daniel James McNeil, just thanking everyone. Team Father like son, had tons of fun. So, they weren't in it to place in the top whatever, but they are in it to go out as a family and track down some species that they've never targeted before. So, man, awesome times. Awesome 4 weeks.
Amen. I would have to say all of that. Ditto. There's nothing that I could possibly say right now, Mike, that you haven't already touched on. But as I said, the camaraderie that I have seen this year, my biggest and I want to say this is our proudest moment, was the fact that we were able to get all of our territories and provinces involved with at least one team. That's a first for the Fish Off. That's a huge accomplishment for not only us, but you participants as well, to be able to be represented in all reaches of Canada. That's truly what we're trying to aim for here. This is not an Eastern thing. We want to make it a cross Canada thing. We're called a network for a reason, and it's a Canadian network, a fishing network that we are trying to build here. So we need every single province and territory to be represented equally and properly. And I'll tell you this, you teams did a fantastic job.
Yeah, Rocky saying, wasn't there a team that registered from Hawaii? Yeah, there's a bunch of actually American teams. And because we're on the World Fishing Network, there's commercials up there saying sign up for the CFN Fish Off. So there are a bunch of teams outside of Canada too. One day we might expand beyond the Canadian borders, but it is amazing, like you said, Scottie, to have representation from everywhere.
Well, here's my take, Mike. And this is not a U.S. Canada thing by any means, but you know what? By the time we do bring on the Americans to get involved in this tournament, we're going to have probably 5, 6, 7 years under our belt. So we're going to have the advantage. There's that.
Oh, I'd put up our Canadian teams over anyone in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, we're
sure.
By all means, you participants have the opportunity to beat your chest because you participated in it. Mike and I will reserve the right to do that until we go down that road. But for right now, this is a Canadian thing. And it is our motto, and it's something that we stand beside. But I can't emphasize it enough that it is a Canadian thing, which is from coast to coast and from border to the Arctic Circle. It's all of us. Any more things on tournament takeaways, Mike, that you wanted to touch on?
Just thank you. It's just more than any other year. There's so many species caught this year that have never, ever been caught before. Like our scoreboard, and I think we talked about it before, we've have, tournament apps calling us saying, hey, you guys have an amazing, awesome tournament. Can we partner so you could use our app for your tournament? And then we tell them, well, can you handle almost 100 different species? And they're like, how many? No, we want to partner with you, but we physically and technology-wise can't handle your tournament on our app. So is kudos to all those amazing anglers here because, wow, the species list just keeps growing.
Good point, Mike. All right, CFN Fish Off review number 2, verification and review.
All right, so we can't officially announce our, top 25 teams and our final winners, or do our week 4 draw, because our week 4 draw is every single species. We need you as a community to double check. The judges are almost finished every single thing. So it'll be Friday midnight, where if there's any error that you think we need to review, please let our judging team know so that we could, check and double check and cover all the bases. So by next Tourney Tuesday, we could do our week 4 draw as well as announce our official winners. And then we could also do the draft for our TV show. So Friday midnight, and I'll put a post up. Any verifications or errors, please let us know.
And Mike, if there was, say, somebody that submitted something that, let's just say it didn't qualify, and they wanted to appeal it and say, is there still time to do that? If someone say it wasn't allowed, could they say, well, this is the reason, and give an explanation, or we're pretty much closed that door?
Yeah, Friday midnight. Any of those issues that we need to either, this was a decision, can you please double check it, or can you ask your team to re-review this submission, anything like that. And we've done it in the past. Sometimes it's like, oh, you need to check this fish because you said it was under 8. Here's a couple more screenshots that show that it is 8. Or this species was identified as this. Can you please double check it? Because I think it might be this. So there's a whole bunch of little things like that. let us know, because we want to, before we announce the winner and have our final tally, we want to make sure we have everything right and accurate.
Well, and you're 100% right, and we tried to get it as right as possible. Sometimes we do have to go over things 2, 3, 4 times before we catch our errors and make it so. But I will say we try to be as lenient as possible. There are some times we've got to draw a line, and we had to do that this year. We're all we're trying to do is make this better. We want to make it better so that we can bring on even more anglers and make this a Canadian thing where it maybe the fishing week, the National Fishing Week, goes around the CFN fish off. As I said, it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially the number of anglers that we're going to be able to attract to this. So,
yep, it gets better every year. And when you're saying National Fishing Week in a nationwide tournament, it's so different than any other tournament because we're not on the same body of water. We're not there all on the same day, on the same time. There's so many nuances between provinces and even within provinces, and you've seen the amount of species. So it is dynamic. It is dynamic. It is like a puzzle piece, and we try to make it as fair as possible and level the playing field as much as possible. But yeah, if there's feedback that you have, let us know, because every year we've evolved, and I think we've got better every year because of your feedback. And having provincial winners helps level that playing field. Having our Shimano draws every week also helps level that playing field in terms of your opportunity to win prizes. If there's any other ideas, let us know, because your feedback helps evolve the tournament.
Mike, their question came up here in regards to lamprey. And I know it's off what it is that we're talking about right now, but verification and review. I mean, obviously it's a good time to bring it up, but lamprey is not a fish that we have ever allowed as an entry into the CFN fish off, because it is a controlled species. Am I correct in saying that?
All your fish have to be caught with a hook and a line. So if you're reeling in a salmon and there's a lamprey stuck to it, you didn't actually catch the lamprey. So that's one of the reasons why we have not, in addition to what you're saying, Scottie, that's one of the reasons why there hasn't been a lamprey that has been entered yet.
Yeah. So, when it's a controlled species such as lamprey, we don't want to give promotion to that. Therefore, we would never allow it to be entered. And then, of course, there's endangered species or species that are considered, fragile, to say the least, as we experienced that on our BC coast. Our BC anglers did a fantastic job targeting those salmon that, are in peril. Let's call a spade, and I really appreciate how they devoted their time and efforts in making sure that the fish were caught and released with all intents and purposes for them to live. So kudos to that. And that's again, on the takeaway side, I know we're stepping back a bit. Fish handling was by far the best I have seen in this past year.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone who helped with that in terms of educating other anglers in a respectful and educational way. And there's a question here about a shark. Yeah, shark was actually caught last year and this year. So if you look at the species charts, there has been a shark caught.
That's awesome. Yes, Jim, I know your lamprey is huge, but this is a family show. Let's not bring that up. All right, number 3, Mike, scoreboard overview.
Oh my gosh. Everyone can go look at the scoreboard now. We haven't finalized it yet because there's always, like I said, things that we need to review. But wow, anyone who's in the top 25, the time and effort that you've put in. We know there's differences between provinces. We know there's differences in terms of how much time people can put in, and we know there's differences in terms of experience. But all of you put in time to place in the top 25. So thank you. I wouldn't want to compete in the CFN fish off online. That's some steep competition there. Wow.
Yeah. And this is, for that reason is why we have such a huge heart for our contestants, and we try to be as lenient as possible because we know the effort that would take place. Because as you just heard, I know I would much rather host this than compete in it. I think there are some, even though they're considered novice anglers, weekend warriors, or whatever, but there are some savvy anglers that are involved in this tournament, and I tip my hat to them. In fact, I tip my hat to all of you just for wanting to compete. But we're trying to do as much as we can to sweeten the pot, and with our sponsors, which have surpassed the number of sponsors we had last year. We can't thank them enough for their involvement because, of course, they provide prizes to our community that Mike and I just would not be able to do without your efforts. And we're going to be giving away, as Mike said, some stuff again tonight.
Yeah. And just in terms of prizes, first place, you'll get a Shimano. Well, let's go third place. Third place, you'll get a Shimano combo plus a small CFN prize pack on top of that. Second place, you'll get your team will get Shimano combos and a larger prize pack on top of that. And then first place, you'll get Shimano combos and a prize pack on top of that as well. So congratulations to whoever those top 3 teams are. But I know that what's cool about the Fish Off is some people are doing it because they want to get on the TV show. Some people are doing it because they want to challenge themselves. Some people are doing it because they want to see how high they can place in terms of, what team across the country. And some people are doing it just for fun. Some people are doing it for quality time. Some people are doing it because they're fishing anyway, so might as well submit a fish and maybe we'll win something. Some people, there's a whole bunch of different reasons. And that's why we love the Fish Off, because regardless of the reason, there is a reason to participate. And all those reasons are positive and community building.
A couple questions here. Both I think are from Rocky. Can you fish outside the country? Obviously not as of this year, but in the future. And the answer to that is perhaps. For right now, this is a Canadian thing. Will remain a Canadian thing until Mike and I decide to pull the plug on allowing entries from outside of Canada. But it doesn't necessarily mean Canadian anglers, but you have to catch fish in Canadian waters. So until that changes, we'll let you know. But I don't foresee that in the near future. That's our take on it right now. And the next question he has, and I'll let you answer this one, Mike. How are tie positions decided? Like when there are 5 teams tied for, say, 27th?
Yeah, there's a series of tiebreakers. If you go to the announcements section, and you'll see how tiebreakers are determined. The first tiebreaker is the number of species. So if there's points that are exactly the same, then we go to the number of species that were caught. If there's still a tie after that, I can't remember what the order is, but I think it's the number of 4-point species. So there's like 5 different tiebreakers. The last one being, if you're still tied after all these 5 benchmarks, we have a live fish off between those 2 teams and whoever catches the first fish. We've never got to that point, but it would be pretty fun if we got there.
It is a cool thing, and we have this. Yes, Mike and I thought about this for a long while, how we would get a decided winner in that kind of situation, and I think it's a cool idea. We did run a test, did we not, Mike? 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
It might have been even last year.
Was it last year? It went really well. It was actually really cool. We had some teams that were involved in it, and it's exciting. And I tell you, the audience would triple in size because it literally comes down to the first fish caught. So it's cool.
Yeah. So thank you. When we're reviewing the scoreboard, if you're on the bottom of the scoreboard and the top of the scoreboard, you put in time into the fish off, and that's time you can never take back. So thank you for choosing to spend that time with us.
Amen, brother. Review number 4. You just touched on it, the 2021 TV show.
Okay, so there's a difference between the TV show that is being filmed this summer and the TV show that is being filmed next year. So let's talk about this summer. If you finish in the top 25, you'll get an email from us asking you if you want to be eligible, like you're eligible for the draft, but asking you if you want to be part of the draft. Some of you might say yes, some of you might say no, but it's basically 2 weeks in July and August. So the last week of July and the first week of August. I don't have the dates exactly in front of me, but in that email, it'll say, congratulations, you finished in the top 25. You're eligible for the CFN Fish Off TV show draft. Do you accept? And if you say yes, then either Mark Beeler, Bill Landry, or Jared Littlejohn knows that, you know, you could be part of their team if they choose to pick you, which will be pretty epic. So that's how the 2021 TV show will work. And then we'll do that live draft, probably not next week, but the week after on Tourney Tuesdays. And we'll have the live draft, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who gets drafted, what province get drafted, and there might be teammates that separate into two different teams because they got drafted by two different captains.
Well, yeah, no, and in terms of the prizes, just to go one step further, as some have alluded to, we are Mike and I will be working very hard in the near future, putting our prize packs together for our provincial winners. Namely, places like Camp McIntosh. I can't thank Tracy and Andre for stepping up and providing our Ontario winners a great stay at Camp McIntosh. That is, the upper echelon of prize packs, and we would love to have something like that across Canada. But unfortunately, our growth and our reach is slow. It's going to take time. But if we put on a good show, say in Ontario, for instance, or Quebec, hopefully that will spawn some interest in our other provinces in stepping up. But as I said, for right now, again, thanks again to Camp McIntosh for our Ontario winners on behalf of our Ontario winners, because that is a cool prize pack.
Cool. So that brings us to our 2022 TV show. So whoever the eventual winners are of the CFN Fish Off this spring tournament, and it looks like there's a pretty clear winner, they earn a chance to represent their province on the TV show. The difference this year is that they'll be filming for the TV show come next spring. So this summer, we have 3 captains who will draft the top 25. But next spring, whoever the winner is for this year, they get to represent their province, and they'll be filming during next year's CFN Fish Off, which means if we keep going with this formula, you can never win 2 years in a row, because 1 year you'll win, the next year you'll be filming for the TV show. And then if you decide to come back and you win, the following year you'll be filming for the TV show. So every year there'll be a different winner, which is interesting, and it allows teams to really prepare for filming for the TV show, which is a whole another animal. And that was one of the feedback that we got from our competitors, especially those who filmed last year and the year before. It's like you end a 4 to 6 week tournament, and then there's like 2 weeks break, and then there's another 6 week tournament for filming. And we didn't want to be the reason for families getting divorced and separated because of that. So
absolutely.
I can relate. So that's why you win the tournament, you film next year, giving you time to prep and have some family time in between tournaments.
You know what, Bonnie? It's a great question that you bring up. Can we vote for who we'd like to see picked this year? You are definitely entitled to your opinion, Bonnie, as is every CFNer. And perhaps it might sway the vote, might sway the decision of our captains. But if you want to pump the tires of another team, by all means, go right ahead. Maybe you want to pump the tires of your own team. I think a lot of you left it out on the water. I don't think there was anything that you guys didn't give. I don't believe that there's much gas left in the tank for some of you, because you've put forth a heck of an effort. But yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to, start your own campaigns on who you'd like to see picked, I'm okay with that.
I know if I was picking, there's some no-brainers. Like Brandon, no-brainer. he just has so much experience and so much knowledge and so many spots and so many species. No brainer. Mitch, same thing. No brainer. What I like about those two guys is not only are they previous champions, but I know competing against them on a TV show, they'll do whatever it takes. Like they'll look at the scoreboard and you know what, we're down or we're up or people are getting close, and they'll do whatever it takes within the rules to find a way to get on top. Jesse, the same thing. Wow, he's caught so many. Mark Elbeck, same thing. And there's another couple guys in the on the BC coast. There's a couple of amazing anglers there. Maybe up north in the territories, there's so many great choices that you could pick.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can have a bad choice.
Well, I would have to say, we have had the pleasure of watching a team like Bouncy Bottoms for the better part of 4 years, and every year they get better. They catch more fish, and I would have to say, this year was by far their best in my eyes. And I'm not taking away from anything that they did previous to this, but Bouncy Bottoms. They made the decision even harder for our judges. Jeremy Blenclow, buddy, absolutely. Who won the best hair? Hands down, it was you, dude. Hands friggin' down, it was you.
Jesus was a close second place in terms of best hair. I don't know if you saw that Jesus video posted by the Drag Colors, but Jeremy, yeah, number one for sure. And you know what, Scotty? I'm hoping one or two of the Bouncy Bottoms get drafted because they should definitely be represented on the show. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we just started our own campaign, Bonnie. I'm just kidding. At the end of the day, it's up to the captains. They have a hard decision ahead of them. They've got a little bit of time to decide, not much, but a little bit of time to decide who it's going to be. But this next stage is going to be grueling. If you thought this was bad, wait till you get to the next stage. It is a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if you watched the TV show. If you haven't, then I don't want to spoil it. But the winning team caught 72 species. Look at the scoreboard now.
Okay, let's not scare them out of this. Mike, zip it, buddy. We're scaring them out of it. I want to prepare you. At the end of the day, I like to be transparent and open, and I will say that this next round, as fun as this round is, this one's a lot of work. So I just want to.
But it's only 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's only 2 weeks.
Footage. It's still a lot of footage. Anyway. They will find out. But as I said, if you are picked, we congratulate you. And at the same time, we empathize with you because there is a lot of sacrifice involved in it. One thing, Mike, I think in part 2, we might do in that wrap-up show, not to mention give away some more stuff, but also probably talk in great detail some of the ideas that, we've been presented already about next year. I know, and I think, as I said, there's no shying away from it. One of the most hotly talked about issues that we've been presented, and we touched on it last night, Mike and I, is about charters and guides. And I just want to say to all of our participants, whether you agree because it's in the rules and it's allowed, Mike and I have taken a step back and thought very hard about it. And I can guarantee you next year, when it comes to guides and charters, there will be a cap on the number of species that you will be able to target in each outing. We don't know what that cap is as of right now, but we do want to make the playing field fair for all anglers, because some people just they can't afford it. And I don't want the perception to be that you can buy your way onto the TV show. We want to make it fair across the board, but this year especially, and I know I mentioned this last night, if I'm a team captain and I'm looking for an angler, I'm going to look at what they've done from shore for this next round that's coming up, not what they've done from a boat. So keep that in mind, captains, and I know our captains know that already. I'm just preaching to the converted, but at the end of the day, we will talk about it more in part 2, but when it comes to our guide and charter situation, there have been a lot of concerns that have come forward about it not being fair, and I don't disagree with them. I understand, but just understand that it is in the rules, and it is allowed, but we will be making changes for next year.
The word unfair is not an accurate word.
Yeah,
Because
right.
if it's within, if you're doing everything within the rules, it's 100% fair. Now, is the playing field level? It'll never be level unless we're all on the same lake, all there at the same time, on the same day. And even if we did that, people would still say it's not level. Oh, he has a faster boat, or he's sponsored and he gets free stuff, or he has more rods than me. It's still never gonna be 100% level. It's impossible to be 100% level playing field when we have people from Nunavut, PEI, British Columbia. I live in Ontario, and I can catch way more species than Bill Landry, who lives in Saskatchewan. It's never going to be fair.
Mike, you bring up a great point, and I know Douglas is watching right now. And really, at the end of the day, talk about being at a disadvantage. And I know I talked Douglas into participating, but what he did, and let's face it, guys, he was the only angler, the only team that competed and had to through hard water. Everybody else had soft water. This guy had to fish through hard water and still competed. And as I said, you want to talk about an unfair playing field? Holy crap! It doesn't get any more unfair than that.
Yeah. So what word can we use in terms of unfair? Because unfair is fair. It was in the rules. Everyone read the rules prior to, or you should have read the rules prior to. So anything that happened this year, anything that was outside the rules, we dealt with because that's unfair. But anything within the rules, then is it a level playing field? Maybe, maybe not. There was complaints in the TV show last year. Oh, you and Ken have the summers off, so you have way more time or make more money than us.
I said that. That came from me, Mike. That came from me.
So, like I said, we will try to level the playing field, but anything within the rules is 100% fair. And we'll see. We definitely need your feedback in terms of how we could do that.
But that was definitely one of the more popular things that came out of this year so far is the whole issue about charters and guides. And, I saw a comment said no charters, no guides for next year. Thing is, everybody's got to make a living. And I think if we can cap it to a number of species, it's a win-win for everyone. Not only our guides and charters who get to take you out and make a little bit of money, but you as anglers, because at the end of the day, you quite potentially could be submitting a 4-point fish, which how is that not a good thing? That's an awesome thing. But I just, when it comes to say a deep sea charter off, say BC or the East Coast, where you're targeting potentially 40 species, that might be a little much.
There's such a blurry line. Like season 1, if you go watch it on YouTube, Mike Macri, was he a guide or was he a friend that took me out to catch salmon?
True.
Kenneth C wasn't my partner. Was he a guide or was he a friend to help me catch different types of red horses? Mark Beeler and Erica, they took me out and we caught crappie. I got a PB walleye and I got a PB sheephead. Were they my guides? Did I pay them? No. Can the lunch I bought them can be considered as payment? Like there's such a blurry line between guides and charters. Plus there's people that, they've never caught a salmon before, or they've never caught a trout before, and they have zero experience doing it. There's nothing wrong with them going on a salmon charter and booking it. They can book it any time of the year, but they're deciding to book it during the 4 weeks of the CFN fish off so that they can enter a fish that they've never caught before. Nothing wrong with that. Now, can it give a team a advantage? It can.
Sure.
It can. So that's why we want to try to level the playing field, because it's never happened before. Usually it's teams that, they have very little experience and they need a guide or a charter to learn how to catch these species, because alone it's very hard for them to do. This year was a little different because we had teams at the top of the leaderboard use a charter. So we'll adjust, and like I said, your feedback would be great in terms of some ideas that can level the playing field.
Yep, and we will definitely be reaching out to our community to do exactly that. So stay tuned. If you have offered your email addresses, we appreciate that. That is not for an email blast by any means. It is simply because we want to be able to send you updates and notifications of what's upcoming, whether it be our next fish off, perhaps a promo code for a certain sponsor that wants to do a sale strictly for CFN fish off competitors. There's a whole rash of stuff that Mike and I are toying with in the background. So stay tuned to all that.
All right, we got to give away some prizes soon, Scottie.
I was going to say, I know people are just chomping at the bit. Like, hurry up, enough already. Let's get off the goods.
Okay. What else? What else do we got there? On our list.
Well, that's it. No, that's it, buddy. You covered everything. You did a fantastic job. The only thing I have left to post is this. CFN Fish Off is officially closed for 2020.
All right. Let me share my screen again, Scottie.
Okay, dude.
Some of you might remember this, but we haven't actually given it away yet. And if you put my screen up, is pre-tournament prize pack number 2. We had 3 pre-tournament prize pack. We had our first prize pack, which is our first 100 anglers. We had our second prize pack, which we're going to give away today, and I'll explain how. And we also had our frame prize pack that was given away as well. And that was given away on my birthday with Dallas and Scottie. So this is the prize pack. We haven't given it out yet. And all you had to do was, and look at all these comments, Scottie, was tag someone. And if you tag someone, then you got a ballot into this prize pack. And on top of that, yeah, I know, it was crazy. And on top of that, if the person you tag registered for the CFN Fish Off, then that gave you additional ballots into the draw. So
brilliant, Mike, brilliant.
So I have the wheel set. Some of you, let me bring up Sarah Jinkerson. She tagged a whole bunch of people, and some of them also registered, which means she got a ballot for the tag, and then she got additional ballots because they actually registered. And some people got a ballot for just tagging, but they didn't actually register, but you're still in it as well. So here is the wheel. Oh my gosh, it is huge. Let me go full screen. So Scottie, actually, let's shuffle it. Can we get a number between 1 and 10?
Yeah. First number between 1 and 10. That's how many times we're going to shuffle this wheel, and then we're going to spin it.
I've actually shuffled it twice already. What's the first number there?
I haven't seen what 4. Trisha came out with 4.
3 and 4. And here is the wheel. And let me just show you some of the stuff. I have it here. We got some. This is from Team Chrome Chasers. Actually, let's not share my screen yet, Scottie, so that we see some of these prizes.
Well, what we could probably do, let me just see if, no, that won't work. We'll go to this. I don't want to take the wheel off because some people might say that we didn't.
Okay. We can leave it there. That's fine.
I'd rather just leave it on.
All right. So Team Chrome Chasers, look at that. Some rod ties, North Shore tackle.
Those are the Great Lakes split tails. My word, I need to get more of those. Holy smokes, man. If you're coming to the CFN retreat, get yourself a handful of those Great Lake shad. Holy crap. Those walleye up there love it.
We got some impact baits. We got some Mad Cam plastics. We got some Ugly Boys right there. We got some black fly lures, some of the spinner baits. Of course, if you haven't tried the lemon dill pepper, Scottie, tell them how great that is.
It's great.
We got a whole bunch of other, thank you, Mad Cam, because we got plastics upon plastics. And then we got this. Get jiggy with us. And it's not just a box, but it is full of various, I don't want to tip it and drop all these jig heads, but there's full of various jig heads right there. So thank you to our sponsors for pre-tournament prize pack number 2. And I'm going to add something to it. This brand new. No, I'm not adding that to it, Scott. I'm just joking.
I was just going to say, are you out of your mind? Holy smokes.
Okay, let's go. Let's go full screen here, Scotty. We'll spin it once, and I will message the person and make an official post. Pre-tournament prize pack number 2 is going to. Oh my gosh, who is it?
Oh! You know what?
She deserves it.
I was gonna say the number of folks that she tagged and got involved in this fish off. Wow. You know what? I absolutely I can't think of anybody that's more deserving.
Yeah, because not only did she tag all those people, but they actually registered. So she probably has the most ballots on here. So very well deserving.
Now, and I will say this as to be the devil's advocate, some would say, you know what, Sarah always wins. Well, look at the work she puts into it. I mean, there's no denouncing that. My word, she worked her arse off for that. So good for you, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. And congratulations. So a couple of reminders is next Tourney Tuesday, we are going to give out our week 4 Shimano draw, plus our bonus Shimano draw. If you showed your Shimano product on the screen, that gives you a ballot into our bonus Shimano draw. Plus, we will announce our top 3 final scoreboard winners. And you have until Friday to let us know if there's any errors or things that we need to review a second time so that we can get the scoreboard as accurate as possible.
And I don't know,
Friday deadline, and then next Tuesday for the draws.
So I don't know if people are aware, but it is the Symmetry combo from Shimano that's still up for grabs, as well as a bonus draw, not to mention all the prize packs, provincial packs, and everything else. And there's a few surprises still yet to come. So stay tuned to that. Even Mike doesn't know.
I know. And there'll be a post tomorrow. Our graphics team is putting it together in terms of our provincial prize packs. So every province has a provincial prize packs. However, East Coast, all of East Coast has one prize pack. All of the territories have one prize pack. And then all the individual provinces not in the East Coast also have a provincial prize pack. And that'll be published tomorrow. So you might not be in the top 3, but you might be the #1 team in your province, and you'll get something too.
Amen. Well done, Mike. Well done, CFN Fish Off participants, our sponsors, especially our judges. Holy smokes. They are, they've drank probably 100 gallons of coffee by this point just to keep their eyes open. And they are still going hard, making sure that they can verify and perhaps maybe even appeal a few decisions that were done throughout the course of the four weeks. So be patient. We appreciate their efforts, and they are a lenient bunch. So don't.
I wouldn't say that. There's only one lenient person on the team.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, Mike. Yeah, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Right on. Alrighty. Well, on behalf of Mike and myself, we bid you farewell. Is there anything you wanted to say in closing, Mike?
Thank you. Best tournament we've ever had, and let us know your feedback because we want to make it even better.
Yeah. Right on, dude. You take care. All the best.
Bye, everyone.